Hello, everyone. This is Chitika,
Hi everyone, this is Selena.
and we're joined by our friend and guest for today's episode, Daniel. Daniel, say hello.
Hello.
Today we're going to talk about tech in quarantine, or sort of like what technology has done for everyone in the world of remotely learning and working and just existing. So Daniel is here to kind of share his perspective as a current student, but also as someone who's passionate about learning and teaching. And Daniel, I'm gonna let you speak for yourself and say hello to our listeners. So take it away.
Hello. I don't know how to introduce myself. I'm so used to like being in classes and going like,
Pretend this is like the
"Hi, I'm a
first day.
fifth-year student in the School
Perfect,
of
yeah.
Architecture."
That's perfect. That's good to know.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
So I am a fifth-year student in the School of Architecture. I'm minoring in Design for Learning and HCI. So, I mean,
Perfect.
I'm not like an expert, but I've learned some things. I'm in some classes. It's
That's
gonna
all
be a
you
cool
need.
conversation.
Yeah.
I'm
Woo.
excited. Thanks for
It's
joining
so,
us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. It's so weird to see you as a fifth year. Because Daniel's a year younger than Chitika and I, so it's strange. It's great.
Yeah. We feel old.
You guys are graduates.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like that sometimes.
Not at all.
Anyways, so tell us about how is learning in right now as a student, I guess.
I'm pretty sure I said this before, but
It's the same.
I
yeah.
don't know. I'm not taking a lot of courses right now, but it's everything seems chaotic no matter what. Like each class has a different Zoom link that you need to like save, and like sometimes you don't want to go to class, but like why bother skip class when you can literally just open your laptop and be there?
That's true.
So there's like no point being like lazy anymore. And like,
Is there still like in-person classes? I guess every university is doing it different, right?
Oh my God,
CMU is doing
yeah.
a hybrid class.
yeah,
like,
so
system.
I have this picture that I took at the beginning of one of my hybrid classes, and it's like one of the most surreal images. It's a picture of the classroom. So she records the classroom and herself, and the lecture board, like the presentation. So it's like the classroom, it's the picture of the professor, and then it's a presentation, and it's like the participants box and then the chat box, and
It's so interesting.
it felt so like techy.
It seems like just too much to focus on. Like, how can you focus on like learning or tech, like lecturing even, and then also manage that? I don't know. Seems like a lot.
Yeah, but I mean, the professor is like a educational technologist. It's for role of technology in the 21st century.
Very,
Education.
Oh,
very
that
relevant.
sounds like a very relevant class.
Very, very relevant.
Oh my gosh. Did
Yeah.
did your instructor
She.
like change, did she, I thought you said he. Sorry, I wasn't making assumptions. I'm just not listening. Did she change your like syllabus to reflect the current situation?
I don't think so. Not yet, at least.
So she's
Okay.
going forward with like the content that she prepared. Okay. Interesting.
Interesting. Yeah, but I mean, I'm sure there's like it must be such a surreal thing to be an educational technologist
Yeah,
in
right
the
now.
present day. Like, gosh.
Yeah. Like one of her research projects is about like recording people in classrooms. And now she can't record
Oh,
people.
that's her project.
Oh,
the
Yeah,
HCI
I see.
project.
Yeah, the
Okay.
HCI
Yeah, I know what you're
project.
talking about. Yeah, they all asked us our permission to be like recorded, although they're going to do it anyways. But yeah.
I'm actually part of that now.
Ooh, exciting! Tell us about it.
So it's called Class Insight. Well, the one that you were specifically in was probably EduSense, but it's morphed into Class Insight, and they're starting to record audio of 8th graders and have like some AI people like code it for us
Some AI people.
into like open-ended questions, or this is the students speaking, or this is the teacher speaking. And I'm a part of the design aspect where currently I have to think of how to design like a hub, like the central hub for the website / app.
That's cool.
That
So-
sounds really awesome.
So is the project still ongoing now even with like all the restrictions and stuff?
Yeah,
I guess,
so
yeah. I don't know what Pittsburgh's doing in terms of like COVID and teaching for like 8th graders.
I'm pretty sure generally it's all online. But no, actually. You know the Catholic school? I think they've opened
Yeah.
again.
Oh, really?
Because I've seen
Central Catholic.
yeah.
The one next to CMU?
It's like in Oakland. Yeah, it's really close to campus.
I think I've seen like a bunch of high school kids
Oh, interesting.
just like walking around.
Like I'm teaching at Assemble right now part-time, right? And they do a lot of like they're starting to do a lot of after school programming, or even like during school time as like an external provider. And it's like there's a lot of mix of things going on. I think some students were saying that their schools are offering in-person options, but they're not going, or they are going, or some places are doing like they have like Assemble, for example, is providing classes online, obviously virtually, but we're tuning into their classroom. So they have like
Oh,
social
interesting.
distancing in the classroom, and they have a really small number of students all sitting far apart from each other, and everyone's wearing masks, and the teacher is the only person like interacting with everyone,
I
but
guess it
they're all in the
depends-
same space.
It depends on the size of the school, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is like different across different. It depends on the school a little bit what they're doing, but I was reading this morning that like schools in Brazil are doing like testing to try to reopen, which is a little bit scary because isn't Brazil like, what is it, like
It's a
number
hotspot right
3,
now.
4?
Well, it depends on where in Brazil, I guess. Like here,
That's
I'm
fair.
sure it's different than Pittsburgh because we're a much smaller town. I'm pretty sure
Indiana, yeah.
in Indiana, our town's like 16,000. I'm pretty sure that schools are open again, but with social distancing and like mask guidelines or not quite requirements. That's like for my like public school district at least. But yeah, back to like the project you're working on, Daniel. Like, how are you recording conversations now then? Like, how does that work?
I'm not sure. I joined.
So you're just on the design team.
I mean, no. I joined the project like this semester,
Oh, okay.
and it's only started up. I mean, because of like online stuff, like everything got delayed, like paperwork and stuff. So I only started like this week.
Oh, okay. That's still cool though.
Exciting.
Yeah. Gives you something to do.
Yeah.
That's true.
And money.
And money. Money is always important.
Money is important.
Money is good. Well, but like speaking, like going back to just talking about you taking classes virtually, because you were talking about, missing class isn't really like, what do you miss, right? Because you just kind of have to roll out of bed and turn your laptop on. We didn't have as many online classes, Selena and I, but I feel like that's really relatable. It was kind of hard in a way to miss class,
Yeah.
or you felt like there was never really a good reason to miss class or even
Yeah.
really be late, because you could always log in and then like
Just like turn
a
your
lot of
screen
times
off.
I was like brushing my teeth in the beginning of class. It's not.
Yeah.
It was a normal thing.
And it's a lot easier to get to class because you don't have to go anywhere.
Right,
So
I
you
feel
just
like-
wake up at the last minute.
I feel like all the professors kind of expect everyone to be there. Like they don't. I don't think a single professor said an attendance policy because they don't expect anyone to be absent.
Yeah. That kind of makes sense. Also the other way around where they don't want to discount anyone probably, but
Right.
yeah.
like, yeah, there's probably so much going on for people. Is there a lot of like people dropping out or even the professor cutting out because of tech issues? Or is
We
that
had a
just
little
like,
bit of that
exaggerated?
when we were.
A little bit of that. I mean, in studio, so like my architecture studio class, two of the students live together, in a dorm room. Yeah. They live in Morwood, and
Oh, okay.
the fire alarm went off.
Oh
so
no!
they both like texted us going like, "Sorry, we had to dip. The fire alarm went off." It's like in
That's
the middle of the
funny.
studio, they were gone for like half an hour.
Oh no.
Yeah. I remember when we, like, because I lived in a house with, like, 3 other people, and we had congregated all of our desks in one room, in the living room, to serve as our studio room. So whenever we would have studio, we all had, like, well, we were only in 2 different studios, but we had to make sure the mic was off and, like, everyone was being respectful because there was just too much going on. And then during like reviews, when we did final reviews, that was like a lot because sometimes like Alina would present at the same time as Z, and then somebody would have to go to like a different room. That's like the main tech issue that we came up with.
Like
Yeah.
having space. Yeah, I mean,
Having
that's
space,
a
yeah.
challenge that a lot of people are facing, right? Especially if you live with other people or like you're an adult with like a young family, then there's always a lot of background noise. So it's just the whole point of having a separate work or learning space is that you have like
A bubble.
the right kind of environment. Yeah. Or just like quiet. No, I had somebody, I think I was trying to present at one point, and I had someone mowing the lawn, and it was just like the worst. I was just, and it's, it's like one of those things that you think only happens in movies, but like the second you start talking, there's a problem, and the second you're done, the mowing is also done. Like, it's just,
Was it like mowing like right, like your yard?
it was my lawn. Like, the landlady decided that was the day she was gonna come by and mow the lawn, and I was like, I really appreciate this, but of all days and of all hours on this day, it was the worst thing. We had this too. Like, Selena and I, whenever we record, like, inevitably there's something going on my street or her street. Or
Yeah, we had some problems last week with the audio because of
Yeah.
that. So
yeah,
yeah.
I know. It's
Not much
rough.
you can do. We're not in a studio, so I guess I could go into like a closet and record, but that's
I've done that.
yeah.
I had to do
We
that
don't
for
have like a walk-in closet or anything, so.
yeah. I had to do that for my job over the summer,
Oh really?
like working for the museum,
Yeah.
because the whole internship was revolved around like remote internship. So instead of like making a cool exhibit, I had to make educational videos. And
Oh, so you recorded like in your closet?
yeah,
like
so
audio?
I didn't have a nice mic or anything, right? So I mean, now I do, but I didn't at the beginning. So for the first video, I had my phone. I wrapped myself in blanket in like 80 degrees weather and like recorded myself in my closet, and
It works though.
it was terrible. It
It
works,
sounds painful.
but it was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's commitment. Tell us about this job a little bit too, because like you said, it's very very relevant to the conversation. I saw some of the, you sent me like one of the videos you made, I think, like the water one.
Fatberg or
It was
both
like
water?
you did like different kinds of materials and water and like how,
Fatbergs.
yes, fatbergs. Yes.
You didn't send me anything, Daniel.
I'm so sorry. I
I was working on you with that project previously.
It's
So
a
Daniel and I were in a
completely
group
different
project
project.
before that, and which led to this internship.
Oh, I didn't
You
know
can
this.
send it to me later. Yeah, it
I'm
was
sorry.
it was
We'll watch it.
our class. Yeah.
I'll make sure.
It
to
was
send
really
to
well
you.
done. It was
Thank
really
you.
nice.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I bet it's well done because it's Daniel. So
Aw.
But like, tell us about this internship, and
Yeah,
maybe we
tell
can
us.
talk about a little like remote learning or remote education in the larger context. Like, I know you've taken a couple classes. I don't want to say, I don't want to say I'm going to be the person to talk about like the educational theory behind it, because
I'm
I
not
should
the
be
person
able to.
either.
But well, we can figure it out together. That's kind of the vibe here. Is also like Selena and I will always be like clicking through things and this is what it means.
Yeah,
So
sorry if you're not a fan of that to our listeners, but that's what we do and it's what works. So
it's fine.
yeah,
You got to do what. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to learn somehow. So sorry, go for
What am I
it.
talking about? Just like
tell us about your summer thing.
summer. Oh, okay. So I worked at the Carnegie Museum of Natural History.
Been there.
Done
And
that.
basically they told me to make something about water.
Okay.
Very general.
Oh my goodness. It was so vague and I was confused for 50% of the time. They gave me absolutely no direction.
Which is nothing against them, I'm assuming, but it probably helps, I think, for designers to have some direction.
Yeah, I mean, they made sure that I knew that I was their first ever remote intern in like the entirety of the Carnegie Museum
Oh.
group.
Well, I guess they never had a situation that needed to be
Wow.
like that, so yeah.
Yeah, they were like making a huge deal out of it, and I was like, okay,
Making you feel
cool.
special.
And then when I start the job, they're like, so we're gonna talk about water, and you have to make something educational, like a little activity on water in the Anthropocene.
That's literally what our project was, except like different format. But
Yeah, so I did a lot of research. I learned a lot about water and toilets and the sewage system.
Very Pittsburgh.
Very Pittsburgh. Very everything. Very world.
That too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair.
Very
We're always talking about
Anthropocene.
like the combined sewer system here, right?
Oh,
So
yeah.
anytime someone mentions like water treatment, I'm like,
Oh yeah, I
CSS.
forget that you guys are in the same city. Wow, when you said here, that's just like,
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh.
sorry.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So I found out that there's a thing called fatbergs, and fatbergs are like a culmination of fat and like unflushable waste that kind of build up in the sewage system. So like
Yummy.
I made a whole video about that. That's all
Did you
fun.
say yum?
I said yummy.
She did say yummy.
Okay.
This is why you don't throw your bacon grease down the sink, guys. It also clogs your house sink as well as like the sewage system.
Or flush anything other than toilet paper.
Yeah.
Direct quote from my video.
Yeah.
Where was I?
Fat
Yeah,
birds.
so-
made
so I made
or
videos.
videos. Yeah.
I made videos. It was
Yeah.
fun. It was
Were they
fun.
like animated videos with your drawing
They were
skills?
mixed media.
animated?
Okay. That's fun.
In a sense, they were animated.
Yeah.
I
But
didn't
they-
tweet anything, you know. It
Yeah.
wasn't great. They were cute though.
They were really cute. Did you have to think about like how I think about when you're presenting material virtually or kind of like in a video versus doing doing slides or an exhibit. There's the platforms are so different, right? And like as a designer, I feel like we did this on different levels, but you're still doing it as a student too. So what was like going through your mind, if anything, when you were thinking about like, oh, this is a different way to present stuff? So like,
Right.
you have to think about it differently.
Well, considering that it's a video and kids are bored in quarantine, like this was when like quarantine was like at its peak. Everyone
Right.
was just like in their homes, not going outside. So I felt like the way I had to present was it had to be engaging, like more so than usual. And also like the activities themselves, because it was centered around doing activities at home. I had to make it super accessible, like something cheap or something that you can do in your room or house or bathroom.
Right.
Makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does. Assemble sends out kits. So, but I mean, because usually what you do is you come to Assemble.
Right.
Or Assemble comes to you, but like the materials come from Assemble.
Yeah.
And they're usually recycled and like pretty depending on what kind of lesson is, sometimes there's an Arduino involved, but like a lot of times the materials are pretty like everyday things, depending. But now like a whole part of the process is that like there's anybody with a car who works for Assemble is also coordinating like kit delivery. So we like go in every once in a while to the space and then we pack kits.
Oh, that's really
and then
cool.
you have to anticipate like, oh, these are all the materials that the students are going to need for like the next 4 lessons. And then you like send it all over. And there was this one, oh my gosh, what a day it was. We had this like, there's like this little recorder that they use. So it's a cute little, it's not that hard once you know how it works, but like it's kind of finicky. But it's just this little voice recorder and you like push a button and it records your voice and then you like sort of like slap a tab and then it plays it back to you. It took like 2 teachers and like 1 parent and 3 students to like communicate how to do that, because when you're there in person, right, and like trying to help somebody learn something or do something, you can kind of just like demo in front of them or like do things together. I feel like that's such a big part of like teaching and learning that is gone because of the virtual nature of things, is that there's no like ability to like take your model and be like, I meant this, and then like snap it in half.
That's a little yeah.
But you know, that was the last part was a joke. But yeah, it's
that makes
like
sense. Yeah. Daniel, what about like in that same vein, like how has Architecture Studio like changed in terms of like model making and stuff? Because I'm sure you guys aren't making that many, if any, models.
My studio isn't making any models.
What studio are you in? Did I ask you?
Christine Mondor's.
Okay, yeah.
She's great.
Love her.
She's
I also
fantastic.
had her. We never were really into models anyways when we were in
Yeah,
Christine
I can
Studio,
tell.
but yeah. I didn't make a single model that entire semester, I think.
But some of my friends are planning to make models, like people in Jeremy Fika's studio.
Yeah.
that makes so much sense. Yeah, isn't his like timber this semester?
It is timber.
How could you not? Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Are professors like asking for it, or is it like optional? Like what's like the general thing for the studios?
To my knowledge, no one's asking for it. I mean, Gerard's studio is based on making vlogs right now. So
yeah, I know. I saw that. He posted it on his Facebook because I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he posted like, follow our YouTube channel. Every like student will be posting vlogs.
That's
for each
cute.
assignment. It's kind of
That's
cute. I
very
didn't watch
Mary
any,
Lou,
but-
actually. Now everyone's like complete. Maybe we'll just cut this. Everyone's so lost. We're like, who are these people?
Yeah,
But,
these are our professors. Sorry.
Yeah,
That's cool though.
that's interesting.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god.
yeah. Go
Sorry. One of the vlogs was about like your workspace or like your home. And then Joanne's room is through the bathroom. There's another door that goes to the basement, and there's her room.
Really?
Wait, where is she? Is she home?
No, she's here. She's in Pittsburgh.
Oh,
That seems like a
What
very
kinda-
Pittsburgh thing. Like
don't-
very
yeah.
convoluted.
There's
like
a
layout.
door
even-
to the bathroom. I mean, to the basement in the bathroom.
so can she not leave her room if somebody's
can't.
using the bathroom?
Oh my god! Wait, that's funny. So she
That
made a
can't
vlog
be
about
legal.
that. That's funny.
She just like made a walkthrough
Gosh.
of like from her door to her, like her room, and it was
That's so cool. I
weirdest
guess it's like
thing.
a cool way of like using like current trends and technology to like
Right.
amplify or like improve your studio or your class. Yeah.
Well, I'm looking at like I'm gonna take a pass at this educational theory thing. Technically,
Oh, yeah, tell us.
I'm supposed to be
Teach
able
us.
to talk about this, not as nearly as much as Daniel, because I'm not minoring or didn't minor in design for learning. But I had one class with Nino,
Okay.
and she made us do this, but I don't remember any of this. No, but like I'm looking at apparently like behaviorism is like a big thing, which is where you look at how learners respond to stimuli. So when it comes to virtual learning, like you have to come up with different kinds of stimulus for students to respond to, right? Like I'm assuming that's like the whole engagement challenge where that comes from, because to have like equally engaging stimulus is not as easy to do virtually. But like
Makes sense.
probably the the concept of like, well, make a vlog of your space at least gets you to like move or like engage with your space as a supplement or like even replacement to engaging in a classroom. I don't know. That's my very like non-expert interpretation, but
That makes sense though.
Did I kind of like?
I mean, that makes no, that's for sure.
Logically, it makes sense.
I remember what we learned in Nina's class. We talked about
Nina is the like CEO or whatever you call it.
Director.
Of Assemble.
Nina
Director
Barbie was
Director of Assemble.
Founder and director at Assemble, and then she teaches at
Carnegie Mellon University.
thank you. Where we went. Yeah.
Where we
but
have
Nina's an
diplomas.
adjunct at CMU.
Yes.
And Daniel and I both I've taken one class with Nina, but Daniel has taken
And
more
Selena's TA'd for a class.
I was a TA for it.
Oh,
Not that
yeah.
I learned like a super lot because I didn't take the class.
You weren't like
itself.
in the class?
I was there, but I was just like kind of
No, like
there.
you weren't like taking the class as
Yeah,
a
yeah,
student.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I meant.
Yeah, the class was called Learning About Learning. Well, the one I took. I think Chitika took the same one, but it was called something else.
Yeah, probably developed a little further.
Intelligent learning environments. That's what it was called.
Okay, it's a different class.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways,
You were gonna say something, yeah.
I think generally you're right. We talked about like there's like three general, very very basic types of learners, and that's like kinesthetic, auditory.
Yeah.
That was the
And
word. And visual. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like people who learn by moving and doing things are not learning well because they can't move and do things on Zoom, and it's not good.
I mean, just think about like all the drama classes or like
Music performance?
Yeah, music performance. I did see a video of an a cappella group or something like that trying to do a concert on Zoom, and that was interesting. It worked, I think, but it was like it's just like a weird situation. But yeah.
Yeah.
I know I have a couple friends that are doing music, and the School of Music actually provides them with like high quality microphones for them
That's
to
really
like
nice.
I love
do
that.
lessons.
That's good, I guess. I mean, well, when it comes to music, or the more complex your like classes, the more equipment you need, so the less accessible your learning becomes too, right? Like I know on some level what I've read about like virtual learning is that generally speaking it's supposed to be accessible, right? Because people don't have to travel, or like you can do like when people used to at least do online school, it was like because they were doing something else. So you were like working during the day and like taking classes at night, or like you had like a greater responsibility like at home or like personally. So you're not able to commit to like something like full-time school, but you can still learn. But then on another level, like it's so much less accessible than learning in a classroom because of all the stuff we've been talking about, but then also just tech. Like
Tech is a big one. I mean, some some kids that are in like online school, they don't have access to internet. Although I think some schools are trying to remedy that, or like access to a device that can stream properly, or have access to even like the knowledge of how to stream, like, or open Zoom. I think some families are having trouble with that. At least that's what I've read in the news. So
yeah, and I'm sure it's more of a challenge with like younger students too, who are like going to school. And then what I'm like, again, this is just what I'm reading and hearing, but like a lot of people are like working parents are having the hardest time because if they have young children, because they're trying to like guide their kids through school. And typically, like depending on the classroom, you're supposed to have a parent around. So much
to be in the room most of the time,
right? Yeah. And half the time, like we've had this like happen with Assemble too. Like we were doing, I think, classes for another school, so their system is that like the parent is in the room or accessible at all times, and the kids just needed the parent to like complete the activity. So all the things that the teacher would help them do, like when it comes to making, like you're not supposed to be able to use sharp tools and things like that on your own, right? So there are people who are like trying to work and also trying to like become teachers for their 8-year-olds, and apparently there's like a a trend emerging of people having to sort of like decide between work and like parenting because everything is happening at home and it's like too much.
Yeah, well, that's why I think a lot of smaller districts like mine, they're really pushing for kids to go back to school because we're pretty much like open, like normal. Like people can go anywhere, people can eat anywhere. Masks are mandated, not that people listen to that, but yeah, like the school district is being like, they were really pressured to open schools so that parents could go back to like their physical place of work. Because otherwise, like if parents have to stay home, then the quote unquote economy in the city crumbles. But then the kids like have someone at home, right? So that's why they open schools in these smaller areas. So
yeah,
makes sense.
And I mean, it's more than just like the educational aspect. Like kids go crazy if they can't go outside.
Oh yeah.
And like
I go crazy if I can't go outside.
And the parents have to like deal with that as well. And it's just so much work.
I know. I can't imagine. Well, also this is coming at the end of summer. I feel like by the end of summer, parents are like, please go back to school and like your life. Yeah. Or I mean, even during summer, like that's why summer programs are so like needed and good, right? Is that kids need engagement when they're out of school. And engagement doesn't mean they have to be like doing homework or like sitting still in class. Like a lot of times it's just
they need to do
seeing
something.
Other people and
that just made me think of there's a learning theorist.
Oh, do tell.
Albert Bandura, and he talks about social learning. And he do you guys know the Bobo dolls? No, probably not.
Yeah,
No.
I do.
You do.
Oh wait,
because
I don't.
Look it up.
Basically, it's the theory that kids learn by seeing, and like they learn behavioral things by seeing what adults do. And without school, they don't quite have that, because like in school, like the teacher kind of has to, I guess, baby up. Like they have to like
Be a model.
project a third grader to a third grader. Like they have to use like very cutesy voices and like kind of like become a third grader.
Right.
So Chitika, this is I'm reading off of online for the description since you don't know what it is. Essentially, a Bobo doll is like a, I don't know, it's like a doll. It's like a.
I figured as much.
Pretend it's a doll, okay? And adults would sort of abuse or punish or like physically hurt the Bobo doll, and then the experiment measured the children's behavior after watching adults do that, and then that kind of cemented the idea of like observational learning. Is that right, Daniel?
Yeah,
More
pretty
or less?
much.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, they either abused it or they didn't, and then they saw that how that correlated with.
Yeah, because if they saw the adult abuse it, then they would like most likely also abuse it because they learn that behavior. Yeah.
Like they mirrored what? Okay, yeah. Like people do what they see. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense.
That's gone.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
It is true.
Because you can't even tell if your adult is wearing real pants or pajamas.
I'm wearing real pants today. Okay, let me just say, because I was somewhere this morning.
You were outside.
So, yeah.
Dan, you were gonna say something.
Also, it means like they don't see anyone else getting punished. Like there's no teacher to scold anyone, so like they don't see an example of what's wrong, like behaviorally. So I feel like in terms of like just social behavior, a lot's gonna change, because like oftentimes, especially in America, in the States, a lot of kids are a little
Aggressive?
a little spoiled.
Yes.
Like the parents don't really scold as much here, I feel like.
Yeah, it's not it's not like a huge part of the culture, I think. And obviously there are obviously exceptions, but I think like overall stereotypically maybe there's a little bit less
also
discipline.
not to make generalizations about us, but I feel like from what I know about you guys too, like I feel like between the three of us we come from a little bit like
more
less American parenting background. More
Yeah.
discipline heavy, not in like a I'm not
Yeah,
making
we're
like
not
a
trying to make
qualitative
assumptions.
judgment on either of those things. But yeah, that is true. There is definitely a different attitude.
And like school is where the students kind of learn a lot of behavioral
It's very true.
things, and that's gone.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure there's already studies being done or like research papers written about this, but I'm curious what the long-term effect will be in the future. So
Yeah.
I'm scared.
and I mean we don't even know. I don't think coronavirus, like the whole quarantine and situation is gonna go away anytime soon.
Right.
So
Oh, for sure.
Well, I think even if it, by some miracle, it's like completely, at some point it's the level of smallpox where you're like, actually, that's not even,
There's
because
an
if people
airplane
don't
flying.
if people don't get vaccinated, then, well, I don't know what. Because I read there were like outbreaks of measles and stuff at some point this year because of the resistance to vaccination. So
Oh my.
that's a whole other, we'll save that
Yeah.
for another episode or series. But assuming coronavirus even gets to the point of like low level threat that life is normal again, I think it just culturally, like it has changed the way we see the public sphere so much. Like I would be really like surprised if we ever went back to like school the way it used to be.
Yeah,
I mean,
normal,
just think,
quote unquote.
like, remember what used to happen when anyone got a cold in studio? Like, everyone was sick for 6 weeks after.
Yeah, and nobody thought anything of it.
Yeah, you were like, yeah, let's all touch the same thing constantly.
Yeah,
and
let's
like,
all touch the same doorknob. Let's all touch the same elevator button. Yeah.
Right. I mean, we were also all probably really susceptible to getting sick all the time.
I got sick every year. Yeah,
you did.
in school. Every season I think I got sick, and most of the time it was during final reviews when I was like at my most susceptible, like you
Your
say.
immune system was literally
Oof,
dying.
is not doing very well. Yeah. Anyways, well, we're at like a little over 30 minutes. Is there anything we want to wrap up on?
This is how are we feeling about school? Like, big
Well, Daniel
shrug.
says about it. So
Indeed.
yeah, I mean, Chitika and I only had like 2.5 months of online schooling.
months.
Yeah, and that was already for me. So
I don't know how anything got done. I'm surprised that
I'm so
assignments were
surprised
turned
that
in,
I finished my project.
graduation requirements were met. Yeah, no.
Well, I feel like remote learning, it sucks, but at least there's no movement. I mean, like it's like time-wise, there's no movement. Like you don't have to get to school or anything.
Like you don't have to go anywhere.
Yeah, and like
to do
dinner's
it.
always downstairs. So like
Or right there.
or right
My
there.
kitchen is
Yeah.
right here.
So it's just like
Yeah.
you save so much time that it's kind of inevitable that you finish all your work.
That's true.
And like even if you
Right.
procrastinate more, you still have more time.
You do.
That's the problem with like online learning and online work, I think, is that there's no separation of like private and work time. So yeah, I know that when we were in quarantine, I got on a very, very good eating schedule as compared to before. Like I would always eat like properly and at the right time.
Right.
Yeah.
We had people, depending on how like relaxed the class was. I always had a friend, like it was like an evening class, like 6:30, and he would eat dinner before class. So like a good number of times, like Kevin was still like cooking when class.
No, we definitely cooked like during our like afternoon, like around 1:30 class, because that's what we would.
I cooked
When
during
we-
I mean,
class.
it's right. It's like considered. I think depending on like the environment too, it's considered perfectly like yeah, you're at home, so things are happening that are like
Yeah.
home related.
Yeah.
I don't.
And especially if you have like 2 or 3 classes in a row and you don't have time to eat normally, that's like
Yeah.
maybe, I don't know, professors probably don't appreciate it as much, but it's fine
I
for
know.
us. So
I do. I mean, I don't know how like anyone that's teaching right now is handling everything, especially if
yeah.
like if you're not as like embedded in
Tech.
learning technology. Yeah,
Yeah.
like if you were doing like lecture heavy stuff, we've all seen how difficult what is it called, like the projector can get. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I suppose if you are, or you know anyone even remotely involved in virtual education, be kind to them. Because life is hard.
Yeah.
Right
Be
now.
kind to teachers. Daniel, is there anything you'd like to plug or
Wait,
say?
did you have your background on at the beginning? Did we see
I
it?
don't think
no.
so.
Turn it on.
It's
Okay.
October.
Oh yeah. If
Happy
you guys are watching
Halloween.
this on YouTube, ta-da!
Yay.
Happy Halloween.
Spooky,
Wear a mask.
spooky. Wear a
Happy
mask.
spooky season.
Yeah.
If you like the ghost,
Wear a mask.
wear a mask.
I'm excited for Halloween themed masks. I don't know what I was going for.
Oh my god, can I plug my Halloween thing for my Etsy store?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay.
That's
I
what I
thought
was
I
trying
thought
to
that's
do.
what you were trying to do, but I wasn't sure. So, I am doing Halloween care packages. So they include a reusable like produce bag, 2 Halloween themed masks. They're mostly solid colored, but and then 2 little Halloween pumpkins and a bunch of candy and packaging. So if you guys are interested in that,
The pumpkins are like sewed pumpkins,
Yeah.
so they're not gonna like get bad in the mail or anything.
yeah, they're cute. They're cute for desk pumpkins. I have some. Well, I had some. They're not here
I
anymore.
want this
But-
pumpkins.
Yeah, they're
I feel
really
like
cute.
if anyone has a cat, like what a great thing to have around the cat. It's kind of like
Yeah, it's like a nice little stress ball too. I wish I had one here to show you guys. But yeah, so I sell them on my store, which is called Craft and Seam. And they're only $15 and they're running out really soon. This is like inside information, but I just got like a really big order for a company that I have to fulfill.
Really?
So, yeah. So I'm
How is this inside
moving out of our
information?
social circles.
But that's good. Congrats.
Yeah,
That's
so if
fun.
you guys want them, they're gonna be probably sold out pretty soon because I can only handle so many. And make sure you wear a mask.
Wear masks.
Wear masks.
Keep the spooky things to ghosts and pumpkins, not viruses. Thank you very much.
Wash your masks too.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
wash them
I gotta
often
do a load today.
after every use. And yeah, stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe. Keep learning.
Keep learning. Oh, Daniel, did you have anything to
possible.
plug?
Absolutely nothing.
Okay, all right.
Follow
We'll
my
see you
Instagram.
guys.
I don't know.
Oh, follow Daniel's Instagram.
Yeah.
Is
We'll-
it Dino?
We'll tag you.
No, it's Dan_NOH.
Okay, there you go. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow us on Instagram and subscribe to our various podcast platforms. And we'll see you guys next time, or hear you, or talk to you guys next time.
Thank you, Daniel, for coming. It was good
Bye.
to see you.
Oh,
Bye, everyone.
bye.
Bye bye.